Okay guys, this is turn of chemical thermodynamics. Now to begin with chemical thermodynamics, thermo is heat and dynamics is movement. Static is when it is stable, like we had studied electrostatic. Electrostatic is charge at one place. When this charge flows, it gets into current. Alright, so dynamic is current, static is staying at one place, charge. Alright, okay. Similarly, this is thermodynamics, that is flow of heat. Alright, before getting into thermodynamics, chemical thermodynamics, we would also have physics thermodynamics. There would be some variation in physics thermodynamics and chemical thermodynamics in terms of work and heat supply that we would see later on when we come to physics thermodynamics. Here, before we get into thermodynamics, we have got to understand that we are dealing with universe, surrounding and system. Mostly we would be dealing with system and surrounding. Alright, okay, let's get into the process. So when we talk about system, let's understand how many types of systems does exist. Now we have open system, closed system, isolated system. Alright, now in case of open system, it's just like we are boiling water for tea, right? So boiling water for tea. So what's happening there? Come to that little later. Then closed. Okay, same thing. I'm boiling water, but I put a lid on it. Alright. And here it's about thermos flask. Alright. So what is the difference that we see in these three type of systems? Open, closed and isolated. In case of open system, what happens is heat and matter. There's an exchange of heat and matter. Alright. You see vapors going out, water droplets, vapor going out, H2O going out. So exchange along with heat. So exchange of heat as well as matter occurs here in open system. Whereas in closed system, it's covered. So water vapor strikes lid, condenses and falls back. So no matter flows out, but it is heat which is transferred. So matter, heat, only heat. Whereas here in isolated system, why do we carry tea in thermos flask? Because it stays as it is, heat wise. Alright. So matter and heat stays within it. There's no exchange of matter nor heat. Alright. So that's what is the difference between open, closed and isolated system. Okay, now let's get into properties of system. There are two types of properties. One is extensive property and one is intensive property. In case of extensive property, it depends on matter present. When we are talking in terms of volume, this much volume, 1 liter, 2 liter, 3 liter, 10 liters. So matter. Alright, when it is here, small quantity of matter. When it is here, more quantity of matter. When it is here, still more quantity. So whether it be mass, whether it be volume or whether it be number of moles, 10 moles, too much, 1 mole, so much. Alright, okay. So extensive property depends on matter present. Whereas when we talk about intensive property, it's independent of matter present. Like we boiled water, we know you take this much quantity of water, this much quantity of water, this much quantity of water, it's all going to boil at 100 degrees Celsius only. Cool it, this much, this much, this much, whatever be the quantity of water being converted cool to ice. At 0 degrees Celsius only it would be forming ice. So it is independent of matter present. Similarly, density, pressure and all those things are independent of matter present. Alright, okay. Now there's something interesting. Now check out over here. Now see, mass, extensive, depends on matter, right? Volume, extensive. But when you divide mass by volume, it's density, which is an intensive property. Isn't it interesting? Okay. Another important thing that I would like to just bring to your notice. See, extensive, intensive, you may get confused which is dependent and which is independent of matter. So how I keep in mind? See, IN, intensive, IN, intensive, independent of matter. So very easy to keep in mind. In. So intensive is independent of matter present, and if it is independent of matter present, then these are all these properties, right? Specific gravity, refractive index, boiling point, pressure, density, and so on and so forth. Okay? Okay, now let's move into next phase in our next video. Okay?